Well, I've just figured out that I am not. I've just figured out that I'm not live, and I don't know where else I'm talking through. This is very strange. All right. Well, whatever. Hello. My name is Jennifer Rose. Welcome to Rose Tarot and Astrology. Um, I was counting on Mel, my sweet wife, to be here with me today. However, she had a dental emergency and has really been kind of struggling to, you know, just to get up and get around. You know how it is, like just all of that pain is just horrible. So she's feeling much better, but it's really not a good idea for her to be talking right now. So thank you for putting up with me as I read her script about the summer solstice and a little bit about astrology. And then around maybe 10 minutes in, I'm going to start doing a couple of tarot card readings. One to honor the coming of the sun, the summer solstice. And that will be a 3-card reading. And another that is for Cancer season, just ushering in Cancer season. And I'll talk more about the questions I'll ask when I do the reading. So thanks for hanging out here with me. Just a second. I don't know if you're hearing me clear my throat. I can hear myself on another device, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure where it is. Here we go. This is so very strange. One to honor the coming of the sun, the summer solstice. That will be a 3-card reading. Okay, so I'm back. And hopefully I do not sound echoey to you. And if so, I apologize. It is just part of a learning experience here. So hello, my name is Jennifer Rose. Welcome to Rose Tarot and Astrology. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the summer solstice and about Cancer season and do a couple of tarot card readings for you today. If you're here hoping to see Mel, I apologize that she's not here. She's dealing with a dental emergency. She's sitting right here. So hopefully she will tap or click or something if I get something way out of hand. But I'm just going to go ahead and read her script for today and then go into the tarot card reading. So hello, welcome. Thank you. If you're here, please give us a subscribe. Thank you. And I'm going to start talking about the summer solstice right now. All right. In astrology, the summer solstice marks the moment the sun enters the sign of Cancer, one of 4 cardinal points in the zodiac that set the tone for a new season. It's a celestial reset, and with Cancer's nurturing energy, we begin a new cycle of emotional focus and deep care. Greetings, fellow Earthlings. Welcome back to Rose Tarot and Astrology. I am your host, pseudo-host, Jennifer Rose, stepping in for my sweet wife, Mel Rose. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for checking in on your regular current astrology. I hope that you all are feeling happy and well, or at least doing as well as you can. Today is the summer solstice. Once a year, due to the Earth's tilted axis and its orbit around the sun, we reach a day like today, the longest daylight hours of the year in the northern hemisphere. Now, I don't know where you're at, but I am in Missouri around Kansas City, and it is hot as hell today. Like, it is hot and humid. I think it's like 105 degrees out there or something, but it really does trip my vagus nerve to go from inside to outside. So I'm going to choose to find the positive in that. And the sun is absolutely gorgeous. It feels really nice out there. There's a good breeze, but it's definitely summer. In pagan lore, we refer to this day as Litha, the day of light. This is when the sun and all things powered by the sun are at their peak of power and influence. So we take time to appreciate all the things the sun brings into our lives. Literally, without the sun, there would be no life. Without photosynthesis, plants that exhale oxygen as a byproduct of respiration would not have developed here. And without plants that exhale oxygen, those of us who breathe oxygen could surely not exist. Sunlight is a key ingredient to life. Yes, the sun also brings warmth. It dries, it causes evaporation so we can have rain. The sun provides the light by which we live most of our lives. And in the light, we're able to see clearly and reckon our moves with confidence. Thank you so much for bearing with me here. The sun gives us so much, and Litha, or summer solstice, is a beautiful time to celebrate that. Now, we've been in Gemini season. It's been, breezy and curious and really mind cerebral oriented. But today, as the sun slips into Cancer, our focus shifts from mental activity to emotional depth, from questions to feelings, from thought to intuition. Now, I've had a lot of Cancers in my life, Cancer zodiac sign. And I know them to be very deep feeling, intuitive, intellectual people who also like to laugh. They usually like to laugh at inappropriate, like dad jokes, too, I find with people. And the raunchier, the better. So, and also, Cancers, make you feel protected. And if they see you just kind of flailing out there, they will just kind of grab you in and say, here, come here. So this is a season that we're rolling into with the sun set high and everything is in the light. So we're looking at, our home life and such. I want to say that I'm going to put in the comments a link to a video that Mel did about home, as she is a Cancer rising. And she did this on astrologer Nadia Shaw's YouTube channel. Sorry, I just realized that I was live and sometimes I freak out. But so Mel talked about, is I think the fourth house in astrology. Is that what it is? Home, and being Cancer rising. And I also think that Nadia Shaw is a Cancer rising as well. So I will put a link to that in the description after this live is over with, so you can check it out and see what this might mean for you. And all watery sun signs right now, you're all going to be feeling just a little bit more into your shell and kind of a little bit more protective, I think. But what do I know? Well, let's see here. But there is a duality to this celebration. At the same time that we are celebrating the sun's power, we recognize that this is a part of a cycle, and the sun's power from here will gradually wane through the rest of the year, which I'm okay with because I'm a fall baby. And though we celebrate the sun's potential, we also understand that without the cycle, the full power of the sun on Earth would quickly dehydrate our planet and make life here very hard, if not impossible to live. Wow, that sounds pretty gloom and doom. Like, I think Melanie wrote this while her tooth was hurting or something. Like, this is not normally how she goes about talking about the astrology. It kind of shows. Oh. Anyway, such is the case with power like that of the sun. It has to be tempered by other factors like nightfall, season change, cloud cover, and shade. So power and transition, we celebrate a sense of purpose and the changes we know we must endure to accomplish our goals. And I feel that all the way around. Like, there have been some things that I've been working on for quite some time. I have, them written in various notebooks and notes on my phone, things that I'm going to do better. I'm going to choose these activities over doing nothing, like I'm like couch to 5K. And, so there was something that just kind of clicked inside of me that said, look, I feel like this is now or never. I feel like this energy for me is the time to go, go, go. And I'm living on a Jupiter line. This is going to be probably really powerful, transformative time for me with a lot of good surprises. Hopefully a lot of, wealthy surprises, like, come on, Jupiter. But anyway, I just want to say that it feels just like it's the time that I'm supported by finally making that transformation. Like, kind of by not being embarrassed by doing it, if that makes any sense at all. But it's kind of time to just step into all of those things that I've been thinking and dreaming about, because all of the arrows point to me. Everything points to me, that I have to, the sun illuminating, it's just like shedding its light on me and who I am. And so I'm looking at my health. I'm looking at my dental stuff. I'm looking at all of those kinds of things. And I'm also looking at how to rearrange my home. And I think that's very Cancerian. And I live with a Cancer rising, so that makes a lot of sense. So I look for her to be wanting to be kind of shelled in a little bit, and also just kind of like, ah. So I've booked a comedy show for us next weekend even. So that's going to be kind of exciting. So celebrate Cancer season with a comedy show and go to some of your local open mics. They're pretty amazing. Okay, so back to the summer solstice is also always the day the sun moves into Cancer. Happy birthday to all you sun and Cancer earthlings. The peak of summer belongs to you and Leo. Well, this is something about personally having a Cancer rising, and I don't. But I'm going to read this on behalf of Mel. It says, personally, I have Cancer rising. What do you know? The South Node is right there too. So it's safe to say I learned a lot of emotional and intuitive habits as a youngster that now, as an adult, I have to A, improve upon, or B, put them behind me. But with all that said, there is a very Cancerian vibe to my character. You can see my Cancerian characteristics in the way that I represent myself. So what does a Cancerian character do? Why it feels and it cares a lot. Your Cancerian side, and everyone has one, is sensitive to changes in mood and other local vibrations. If you have a sun, moon, or rising in Cancer, or if you meet a couple of other criteria, you're likely very sensitive to subtle kind of changes that communicate maybe irritation or increasing comfort and discomfort, I think. And you probably wish that everyone around you were as sensitive, though most are not. So for those who don't know what it's like being sensitive like this to subtle changes that others might not pick up on, often it feels like discomfort. Oh, I think I picked up on that one. I was like, yes, discomfort. It's the reason an oyster creates a pearl. Ooh, I love pearls. Not for the beauty of the thing, but to soothe an irritation because a piece of sand is stuck in the shell. For the Cancerians in your life, comfort is at the utmost importance. It's part of the reason they love to be at home, surrounded by their collections of things that soothe the heart and body. Yeah, I dated a Cancer once, and that person collected plates and all sorts of like cranberry dishes and just stuff. And they literally had to be up and around on the walls where you could see them. And they kind of just like went all the way around the kitchen or all the way around the dining room. So that is like Cancer still like, so every crab needs a shell to retreat. They can retreat into after a long day of being exposed to whatever the world wants to throw at us. We want safe, cozy, familiar surroundings. Talk to me in the comments about your rising sign, and I'll tell you what you're sensitive about. No, I won't. And likely to defend to death, as the famous giant crab of Greek mythology did. Cancer is sensitive, yes, but not likely to show much vulnerability. That is the truth. In fact, crabs have claws and are known for a painful snap when they feel the need to defend themselves. Cancerian people are like this too, sensitive to discomfort and not afraid to protect what's theirs. So challenge their feelings or experience at your own risk. I know this for sure. Like lots of Cancers that I know, they like to throw things. And I'm saying all of us like to throw things, but there's just like a particular extra satisfaction that they get out of throwing things and just hearing it like, I mean, I get it. And I'm not judging at all. I'm just saying. This all plays well with the summer heat in the northern hemisphere. Everyone's sensitivity rises when it's hot outside. We're all more likely to respond to stress or excitement in an emotional and passionate way. In a way, it just goes to show that we are powered primarily by what we feel. So it's important to feel good about what we're doing and the company that we keep. And it's important to celebrate the power we have to improve our own circumstances so that we can feel good about what we're doing and the company that we keep. I felt like I was just reading like some acceptance speech on Mel's behalf to something. I feel so out of my element, Donnie. Like, seriously. So, anyway, that concludes the astrology ish portion of the live show tonight. We're talking about summer solstice, we're talking about Cancer season energy. And now, just for funsies, because I have not used this deck very often, I'm going to do a couple of 3-card readings here, one for the solstice and another for Cancer season to help usher that in. But first, I want to use my Saints card. What is the name of this? Mystical Tarot of the Saints. I've just pulled out the saints here, and I'm going to draw a saint that is going to represent who it is that is looking out for you right now. And then I will read from the book what that saint, what it means. Okay. So we've got, well, let me throw this up here. I get a little, it's the 3 Kings is what this says. And it's the star card. So the star card is really about a rebirth. And, you know, the 3 Kings are there for the birth of Jesus. First of all, having 3 kings is better than having no kings or 1 king or 2 king. Also, having 3 kings might make it really interesting because you'll figure out who it is that can ride the middle. You can figure out who the mediator is from there, okay? So I think that if it is that you're really feeling like you need a lot of support, I think you've got 3 kings here in your corner looking out for you. And I think it is that you can call upon them and they will come. Just by saying you want to do something different. Just by putting that out there, saying, hey, I want to do this. And let's see here. 3 Kings, the star. Let me read from this. More reading from me. Aren't you so lucky? And I can barely see the words to this, okay? So the star depicts a romantic, spiritual atmosphere through the lavender, pink, and peach hues. There's a bright star falling high in the starry sky above the dune peaks and palm trees, while the 3 kings gaze upon the omen of Jesus' birth. Beneath the cliff where they witness the shooting star with their faithful camels flows the glistening indigo river. The star is more than just one thing or one personification. The star represents hope. I love that. The star stands for the state of soul where all hardships are overcome and all earthly lessons have been learned. She is an embodiment of a realm where we travel either in enlightenment or after death. In divination, the star contains the light of all the stars that we see glimmering in the night sky, and thus it's an omen of beautiful and hopeful things to come. I love that. It speaks clearly and solely about the future, and it omens good things to come. In a love reading, the star foretells of meeting your soulmate. However, this soulmate is definitely of romantic origin, and you will find not just peace in this love connection, but also happiness. In a spiritual reading, the star represents massive good karma that has accumulated in your soul account, and now only good and fair things await you in the future. In a wealth reading, the star is a symbol of not just material riches, but emotional and spiritual riches. That's wonderful. So here, the 3 kings are here for you. They're the ones to look to. They're the ones to call upon. And just know that you're well protected. And as always, all right. So we're going to start this 3-card summer solstice reading, okay? And I'm just going to use a regular sorry, my Venus and Virgo has to have this a little bit more balanced than that. All my Libra and Venus and Virgo. You know who else has a Venus and Virgo? Eminem. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying, okay? Okay, so the theme of this is power, purpose, and the cycle of light. We're talking about the summer solstice here. We're shedding some light and burning out. Like, what I love about the sun is we can burn it out. We can just really transform something by sitting in it for a minute. And it also just, I've been waking up and going for a walk. It really gives me motivation to get out there. It also gives me motivation to get up really early because it's hot as balls outside, but that's besides the point. So anyway, this summer solstice 3-card reading, power, purpose, and the cycle of light. The very first card that I'm going to draw is going to answer the question, what am I being called to celebrate and honor at this peak of light? What am I being called to celebrate and honor at this peak of light, at this peak of sunshine? I hope the sun is shining wherever you're at. And if it's not, I hope it's shining in your heart and mind. Okay, so let's see the first card, the 7 of Pentacles. So you've come a long way, baby. This is the first thing that I want to say. You're really cultivating something with your life here, and let me take a minute to soak this in and think about the question. Yeah, I think it's really becoming clear what it is that you want to put your time into. Okay, and I think it's time to celebrate what it is that you're keeping and what you're growing and what you know to do, what you've done over and over and over and over and over again. And your tenacity, just your willingness to kind of start over, to cultivate something, to keep it going, and to watch over it. I know this is a little bit of an impatient card too, and you can celebrate that. Like I celebrate my impatience by dancing around the kitchen and just kind of counting down the microwave. We can celebrate impatience by watching it grow right in front of us. I've been wanting to put like a camera in front of a plant that's growing. We put it down a lot of seeds for that. And I feel like this is just about, being really grateful for the clarity that you found, knowing what it is now that you want, who it is that you want to be, and knowing, what to do to get to a better place. All right. So the light is just kind of burning out the bullshit, and it's saying, what, here's what you've already done. Here is what you've already cultivated in your life, and it's time to either, to just grow the good stuff, to remind yourself who you are. Gosh, that isn't even like really that is really specific, I think.
I thought so too.
Huh?
I thought so too.
Okay. So the second card. Power, purpose, and the cycle of light. And this is definitely a cycle, just watching something grow. I've been watching my plants grow. I've been watching things grow in my life. And watching them grow means also watching what I don't want to grow. I can see that the weeds grow faster in my garden than the stuff that I plant, So it's time to cut them down. It's time to get rid of them, give them a proper burial and put them out in the compost. All right, second question is, what power in me is beginning to wane? And what must I release with grace? That's a long question. Let's just say, what's past its prime or becoming too intense? What's becoming too intense? That heat can sometimes be really intense. It makes people act all sorts of ways. It might make somebody want to sleep, and it might make somebody feel desperate to get cooled off in whatever way that is. And sometimes it just makes you lose your mind. What's becoming too intense? Ace of Cups. Our emotions. And I'm going to say, like, if you're someone who drinks to help your emotions, whether that's to help you get happy or if you think it's making you less sad, yeah, it's becoming too intense. It's getting to be too much. What is also getting to be too much is just how easy it is for you to kind of just like overflow with emotions. Like I am that person that is always just genuinely enthusiastic about everything. And it's intense. Even if it's good, it's really intense, and it does create some anxiety. So um also, I want to say, mix the sun and the water, it can get pretty boiling, and I don't know why I'm down there yet, but I think it is to just kind of just watch that welling up of emotions, okay, whether it's good or bad. Extra of it, overflowing of it can be a little bit too intense, and other people sharing their emotions with you, or putting their habits on you, whether it be drinking or overdoing and whatever, over consuming in whatever way. There's some light being shown on that for you, and it's becoming too intense. It's beginning to be too much. It's beginning to cost too much money. Like you've done a lot to make this money, to figure out how to squirrel this away. We were just talking about, we weren't seeing any squirrels today because it's hot. But squirreling this away, so it can be pretty intense to feel overly joyful or overly angry. So that's what's feeling too intense right now. And then the third card in our summer solstice reading. Huh? Mel is being sweet and running the chat like a lovely human that she is. Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to throw the third card to the summer solstice in just a second while Mel catches up. And if you are just catching up with me right here, hello, thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to our channel so you can see when we go live again. I am at the third card of our summer solstice reading, and then I'm going to switch over and do a Cancer season reading for you. And I am Jennifer Rose with Rose Tarot Astrology. You're good? All right. So the third question here in the summer solstice reading is, what should I nurture as the light begins to fade? As Mel said, and as I read what Mel said, as soon as this is the longest day of the year, so now we just get further and further away from the light at this point, right? So what should I nurture as the light begins to fade? I know a lot of people start getting sad because they understand this. And so what should I nurture? What should we nurture? It's in nurture. So Cancerian. Okay. Nurture. Well, I don't know. I think that we should just be kinder to ourselves when we really don't know the answer to something, or really don't know how we're going to get something done. Sometimes we just tie our own hands up and say that we can't do it or we can't think about it. But usually, kind of like me, as soon as the waitress takes everybody else's order, I know what I want. Okay. And so I think that you should, as far as what to nurture with this, sometimes being indecisive is a superpower. It allows you to see every side and every angle of something. And sometimes it prevents you from doing something that you may not really like maybe you haven't thought about it all the way through. So, if you can just give yourself a chance to think, a time to mediate it with yourself, being a little bit kinder to yourself as you start something new, as you begin again, whatever that means, and whoever this is for. Just be kind to yourself when you really don't know how to go or where to start, because that answer will come to you if you just get still and think about it. Think about what you really, really want. Okay? Being indecisive is a superpower. It gives you a clear, well-rounded view of what's really going on, and it will give you a great way to make a good decision for you, or the best decision that you can make for yourself in the moment, because we're all just out here doing our best, and my best is not going to be the same as yours, but just know that I'm doing my very best, and so is everyone else. Okay, so nurture that indecisiveness in yourself, because it is definitely some way that you can uncover and, pull yourself out of a, series of, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know how to get this going. I don't know where to start. Just pace yourself. That's naughty as Sean. Dang it. Pace yourself and be yourself. Ugh. Such a big influence. I love it, but I'm just like, I want to be a little bit more like less imposterish feeling. You know what I mean? But anyway, so that concludes the 3-card reading for the summer solstice. I would say it is, you've got to nurture that part of you that's indecisive, that part of you that doesn't know what you want the most, because you already know. All right. And it's probably something that you don't want to do or that you're not really interested in, but maybe it's something that you're really good at. And I think that if you just lean into it, it will really be fulfilling for you, and you'll choose to, be the happier part of the Ace of Cups as opposed to, the grouchier part of the Ace of Cups. Because when I get to sweating, like I start getting, I get angry. I don't know what you call that when you get sweaty. We should make up a word for that, but instead of hangry, swangry, sweatgry. I don't know. Angry. But anyway, so I'm switching over. Hello, Tarot with Mahi. I'm switching over to the Cancer Season 3-card Tarot spread. The very first question I'm going to ask, and I'm going to kind of ask this question and just be silent for a moment while I shift gears into the Cancer season vibes. Cancer season 3 times. The question I'm going to ask is, what part of my emotional nature needs tending or reparenting? What part of my emotional nature needs tending or reparenting? And I would say that really kind of reaches back, one of those things that, sand in a shell, you get just one little piece of something in your foot and it feels crazy, or a paper cut. That old thing that just really hurt. What part of my emotional nature needs tending or reparenting? I drew the 3 of Pentacles. So I think that there were a lot of promises made, a lot of plans that weren't, a lot of promises made and broken. And I think what that would mean for reparenting yourself would be to start trusting. That's really hard for me to say. I'm like, oh, is that really what the energy of this card is? But to begin trusting. It's not the same as it was. We listen to George Harrison, Be Here Now, every single night before we go to bed. And it's really important to know that it's not the same as it was, And even if you get that same feeling, that sandy feeling underneath your shell that just doesn't sit right, just know that whatever it's triggering you back to, it's not what it was. It's not that thing. It's something different. It's something more, and it's something that you're kind of holding on to. So yeah, we've got to learn to trust and make plans. I think it's possible that, and make promises. So make commitments. I think it's possible that all of that's happened to you, those broken promises, has kept you from really committing both to yourself, maybe committing to life, maybe committing to a partnership, maybe committing to your kid, just committing to life in general, a job. Maybe it is that you've been kind of holding back and not living fully because you just expect for the other shoe to drop. It's time to stop thinking that way, because it's not the same situation, it's not the same people. You're not the same person that you were not even 5 months ago. We've grown so much, especially in the last 5 years. We've grown so much. So allow for that to be something different, okay? And we've got to begin trusting, and we can start Cancer, deeply intuitive Cancer, by trusting ourselves more. Trusting ourselves. I know Cancers get a bad rap about being overly emotional, but I don't know that I believe in seriously being over emotional. All right, so that's what part of my emotional nature needs tending or reparenting. The second question for Cancer season is, where am I being called to create safe space for myself and others? Where am I being called to create safe space for myself and others? Where am I being called to create safe space for myself and others? In downtime? I think that creating safe space for you and for other people would mean making sure that you took care of yourself first. And I think it's really about understanding what it is that you want to do. So there's the three swords standing above you, and maybe it is that you've got that indecisive two of swords card. Like maybe it is that you've got a lot of things coming at you. Okay, so how do we create a space with this? I think it is that we just have to create a calm, quiet space for ourselves and others. So once we go out, we have to create a day. Or overdue. Overdue for some people is just leaving the house to go deal with somebody even out in public that you don't know, or deal with strangers, or just leaving the house, period. So, don't overdo. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I've got some extra energy going on here. Yeah, and really just a really protective space, just where it's impenetrable. You're not going to let anybody hurt you or anyone around you. And I want to say that with that person laying down there, the manifestation, just be careful what you're manifesting. I know this is what am I being called to create safe, but keep your thoughts on the up and up, on the positive, on a solution rather than the problem. Okay. And that's going to create a kinder, nicer space for you, and that will draw other people that are kind and nice to you. Because sometimes when we present like that, we just draw the wrong people to us. And then we just have to, do it over and over and over again. And then we just want to take a rest. And sometimes we don't want to get back out. But just take the time, take care of yourself first. I lost a train of thought there, and I'm not happy about that. All right. Third card, Cancer season. The final card. I sound like I'm echoing, so it'd be kind of cool if I was and I sang that. The final card. The final card is, what strength lies in my sensitivity right now?
Wait. What strength lies in my sensitivity?
Yes. What strength lies in my sensitivity right now? Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Jennifer Rose, and I'm about to pull the third card on my Cancer season tarot card reading. And the question is, what strength lies in my sensitivity right now? Gosh, this is really throwing me for a loop here. I've got the Nine of Swords for what strength lies in my sensitivity right now. The Eight of Swords. Oh, sorry, it's the Eight of Swords. It doesn't matter. It feels like 9, I guess. It feels like a lot. Wait a minute. So what strength lies in my sensitivity right now? Well, the thing that I see again is somebody with their eyes closed, and I really think that it, not trusting everything that you're seeing, taking a step back and just taking a pause. And this is just kind of like, first of all, this is something, this is an anxiety of your own creation, or these are old anxieties in the past that are still just kind of keeping you from living your true, authentic life. Eight of Swords feels like 9. Keeping you from living your true, authentic life. And we have to know that, we can cut ourselves out of that. Okay. We can choose to see. We're choosing to blindfold ourselves sometimes. The strength here is that we can see the darkness and the light. I really firmly believe that you can see light around that blindfold, because this is something that has happened to you or something that you've put yourself through. So you know how to get out because you've kind of placed yourself in there. Okay. And it's just whether or not you feel like you've been well rested enough or not. So I think still this comes back to rest. I think this comes back to, okay, so you've rested enough. It's summer solstice. It's time to get out. It's Cancer season. It's time to get to the lake. It's time to get in the swimming pools. It's time to get out of your head, out of your mind, and, use the sun, use the cardinal feeling of who you are as a Cancer to pull yourself out. You know how to do it. I don't even know how to say this. It's just kind of like a tunnel that you make. There is strength there, okay? And the only strength there is that you're not completely and totally sharing yourself with other people. And Cancers and other crustaceans, they like to not feel vulnerable or look vulnerable. And look, none of us like to look or feel vulnerable, but nothing like something with a shell on it, just really like your meat and all of everything just like hanging out there. That's a lot for anybody to deal with. So it feels like a lot of Cancers are really kind of going through it right now, or have been going through it. And I really think that this is the turning point, for these next few months of the sun, at least in the northern hemisphere. And this is going to be where you come out and shine, Cancers. So get out and have fun. Stop being so damn anxious about what other people think about you. Right? Start something new, especially start something new in your life, something new that makes you feel alive, revived. If it's walking, if it's swimming, if it's, I don't know, writing, reading, whatever it is, get going with it, get your life back on track. This is the time. There's a wheel here saying, hey, let's go. The Pentacles is about your life, like if you've got corners full of piles, Cancers, I bet you're going to be going through them. So it's just time to get your life back together, okay? And see the sun, take in the light so you can bring it through the darkness here. And then you grab all of your favorite people, make them stay the night with you, cook for them. Do whatever makes you feel cozy. All right. No, I'm just rambling. Okay. So I am going to wrap this up for now. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Jennifer Rose. I am astrologer wannabe and a tarot card reader. And I really appreciate you hanging out here with me, even though Mel isn't here. Normally we are together at Sunday on Sunday. I got nervous again. I was like, oh, there's people watching me. On Sundays, Mel and I get together and we talk about the astrology for the week ahead. Astro Insights Live with Jen and Mel Rose. And we also do a tarot card reading for the week there. And we release videos throughout the week. Like today, we released this video like we did in live because Mel's got a tooth issue and she couldn't go live earlier this morning like normal. So it would be great if you subscribe and click the notification bell because surprise, we're here. And we do another tarot card reading gig where it's a yes no tarot on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So bring your yes or no questions and come and ask them so we can ask tarot. It's kind of fun, and we've actually had a lot of things come true from our readings. So thank you so much for tuning in with me on your Friday night when you could be doing other things. And I hope to see you again here on our channel. And take care of yourselves, and happy summer solstice and happy Cancer season.